Okay, so this is the latest episode of our Team Kittens podcast. We've done so many episodes, I don't even remember the episode number.
Number three.
Number 3.
Número tres.
Again, we have our uh, two hosts. I'm Aaron and Palmer, and the co-host is Ben Palmer. How's it going?
Good, good. For this week's Guess What I'm Eating, put your comments and your guesses below in the comments section. You'll win a single roll of toilet paper if you guess correctly. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
That is very true. And ring that bell notification.
That's right.
Okay. So we're starting off on defense. I'm Soldier, Melissa is Sigma, David is Zarya, and Ben is Baptiste. And then our two random players are Widow and Mercy. So everything starts off well.
Except Widow doesn't do anything.
Now, it is like David comes over here, and we're holding here. Especially since they don't have a shield, you could argue like someone like Zarya can get value by like getting an off angle and getting damage behind their shield, but they don't have a shield, which we don't really know at this point. But this is just for informational purposes. If you're the off tank, it's always it's that good rule of thumb is you want to be close enough if something jumps on your healers that you can protect them. So at the beginning of the fight, there's probably not a lot of value for coming over here. We probably just want to stick together and fight together. So there we go. So we regroup. Now we do kind of get separated from our Widow. Our Widow gets hooked and gets killed. And our Mercy is also separated. She flies back to us. Okay, now we're safe. So at this point, we're doing a good job of staying on our side of the point. We're grouped up. Because really, our goal is not to get kills. Our goal is just to stay alive and protect the points. So far so good. We're staying in a safe spot.
And McCree is he's sort of out of place. Could have capitalized there maybe.
Which we don't really have anyone to do that though. If we all ran at him, that could have been possible. But
yeah.
Now here's kind of scary, I think. Like it makes sense. Like your healing here is safe when they're around this corner. When they start to push in, like us grouping up here is really scary because they can just sort of pin us in and kill us.
Oddly enough, they did not notice me over there. If they started shooting me, I would have moved, but they actually did not notice me.
Yeah, but in general, I think it's better if we're retreating.
I was also nervous because of the Pharaoh.
Yeah, and that's very fair. I'm just saying that we all sort of clumped up in here, and if they did a good job of pinning us in, we'd be in a lot of danger. Yeah. So if we're retreating from their pressure, and if we're like Sigma Zarya, then it's a lot like Orisa, where if they're pushing in, then we sort of want to go backwards and look for a kill. Like ultimately, we want to like instead retreat to this corner where our tanks can hold this part of the points, while the rest of the team can Ben could be like here, so you can like pop in and out and heal, but also have protection from the Pharah. And I could be here as well, like doing damage in. So in terms of retreating, we're probably want to retreat more to this spot. But we survive. We get the kill on their Pharah. But we do lose. That's kind of we do lose our Mercy on that spot, which is with And with this spot, you know, that McCree is able to get that angle. Well, if we're more over here, then our Mercy could have been on this wall.
Yeah, and we don't have a shield at this point either, right?
Yeah.
It's broken.
So we lose our Mercy. At this point, we want to be probably we've lost one of our healers, so we probably want to be playing safe. And it would have been once we lost our Mercy, we should have retreated and played safe and played right here on this corner. But David gets caught out being a little too far forward here. So now we're down 2. I'm gonna turn off. Oh, oops. So now we use 2 ults, and we're down 2. We use 2 ults, and we're able to.
Your mic's cutting in and out, Aaron.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can, yeah.
So we were down 2. We were able to use ults to save the day. So that's good. So now we're. Oh, geez, you can't hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've regrouped. The fair's behind us.
Yeah, you're still cutting in and out.
Yeah, I have no idea why.
Weird.
So.
Yeah, I think the fair is trying to sneak just because she's close to ult, but she does not get it.
Yeah, I think what you and I could have done is, as a soldier, it's probably much better for me to be on this high ground, and then like you could be with me.
Yeah, you started off that way the first fight, but then you dropped down.
Yeah, I think for most of the time I've been sort of which as they're approaching, if I'm like here getting damaged, then that's good. But once they're fighting here, like you and I could be up here, and like this right here provides cover. So if we do get in trouble, then we're able to like heal up behind the cover. So really, I should have been up here, and like the tanks can start here, but then slowly back up as they push in. Or if they push in from over here, then our tanks could be on this side. So their fair is dead. So it's 6v5. Now I'm on high ground. Now Ben's with me on high ground. And unfortunately, they kill our widow, and she. Our widow is out of position and alone. Over here, David jumps in to help, but unfortunately that makes David alone and vulnerable. So we lose our Pharah. David goes in to help the Pharah. Or not, I'm sorry. We lose our Widow. David goes in to help the Widow. They surround him and are able to kill him. So he's out of mech. And really what we could have done is... then like we could have all like grouped up on this side together as a team, but we're kind of split up now. So now we lose our Mercy. So now it's 4, and they're almost at 6. The David dies, and then I die. So once we started losing players, we could have done a much better job of grouping up and fighting together. But we all kind of split apart, including me. Like I chased the McCree when there's no reason to chase the McCree, and I ended up dying for that. But overall, a really good defense. We took nearly 3 minutes off the time bank.
Objective lost.
So that's actually
Stop the
uh,
payload.
a really good first point defense. So now there's 4 of us alive. There's 2 of us coming back from spawn. We're playing pretty safe.
Widow's using her ultimate. Amazing.
We do a good job of chasing down and getting 2 kills on their Zarya and their Lucio, and then we hold up this front corner. So that was a good job of us playing safe, punishing their bad positioning. Now here's a question for this point. I wonder, because when we're trying to hold this corner, if we're on the low ground, it kind of makes us vulnerable to the high ground, like with the McCree. So I wonder if we are like trying to hold pretty far up, whether our tanks are here and then the rest of us are back here, so that we have this pillar for protection. So
or do we take the high ground?
And that's the other question: is we could take the high ground. Now the question is who, like you, me, and then like David as Diva could be on the high ground, and then like Missy as Sigma could be here. It's always hard when we split up like that because it becomes easier for them to surround somebody and kill them. So maybe all of us could be on the high ground, and then if all of us are on the high ground together, we want to be disciplined, because as the cart goes around, we're looking for a kill. We're not looking to stop the carts. Like we don't, like, some of us might drop down and some of us might stay on the high ground because we feel that pressure of the cart moving and we want to stop the cart. But when the cart's moving through this section, we don't really care that much about the cart. We care more about getting kills as a defense. So if we are on the high ground together as a team, we just want to make sure we stay on the high ground, and because it could even like turn this corner. Because really, what you ultimately want to worry about is if it caps. But if it like gets here and we kill the enemy team, then that's fine. So their McCree takes the high ground. Now David, as Diva, David goes up to chase the McCree, but unfortunately he gets hooked and gets demacked, which is...
It's the right idea.
Yeah, it's definitely the right idea, and it's in terms of what Diva's value is, it totally makes sense. But it shows how it can be punished if you go alone. So if me as Soldier, you as Baptiste, and
I could have followed.
David was Diva, and ultimately that's probably the thing, is like we want to start on the high ground together.
Yeah.
And that way we keep them from taking over the high ground. So now we get caught up in the grav.
I've got you in my...
I use my ultimate.
Even though I told him to parrot, but that's okay.
And then I get the Zarya. Our Mercy uses her ultimate. So I think that's...
So I know your ultimate was a reaction there. Could you have theoretically said, Melissa, drop your ultimate? That way, well, I don't know. I guess it wasn't necessary to pair both of them. But that, theoretically, a Sigma ult and a Soldier ult could be good together.
Oh, totally, completely. And it's definitely... We weren't doing a good job of in between fights talking about it. We definitely need to get in that habit of in between fights talking about what ultimates we have and what ultimates we think the enemy has. So we're holding on the cart, which is fine. I think your ult gets a lot of value because it just pushes them back. Their Zarya gets killed. Their Roadhog's stuck on that pillar. So I think that was a good ultimate that bought us a lot of time.
You're cutting out more.
So we lost, or got rezzed.
Tracer's got David in the back. I probably could have switched to Brig and could have taken care of
I don't think the Tracer was doing that much. I think we were fine.
Yeah.
So we're doing a good job of playing safe. We're retreating, which is good. Looking, Melissa gets picked, but she's able to get out, and the Roadhog gets killed. So far this is really good defense. We're constantly just retreating, looking for picks.
Ooh, I like the sneaky Diva Bomb. Did you see that one?
Yep, and that worked out. That worked out great. Got 2 picks.
That was a nice sneaky bomb. I like that.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Oh, Widow's popped her ultimate. A lot of value.
So everything's going well.
I think the most boring ultimate ever. Unless you're a really good Widow.
So they only have 30 seconds left. So really, this should be the last fight. Now this is where we probably should have held further back. Like, there's really, by holding here with where the cart is, it allows them to approach us from like 3 angles. They can approach from that angle, they can approach from this angle, and they can approach from the high ground. So it's probably not a good idea to hold here. We probably want to hold here if we're being really defensive and cautious, or we could have held on the high ground. Now, again, the scary thing about holding on the high ground is that we all have to jump down together and make sure that we don't get split. But if we want to play super safe, we could have held here, because that way we see them, we see their approach from this direction, we see their approach from that direction, and we also have some cover here. So I think ultimately why we lose this second point is because it's probably not a good idea to be holding on the cart here. So because the hog flanks us from behind, and that kind of creates enough chaos, and then the McCree comes behind and uses his ultimate and kills 3 of us.
Yeah, the sad part is we knew he was doing that. We knew he had a high noon. We knew he was sneaking around, but weren't able to do anything about it.
Right, and if we're holding really cautiously here, then like Melissa could have sent her shield at him.
That's true.
David could have used his boosters and defense matrixed him. But the trouble with holding here is that it was easier for him to flank us. So we could have been on the high ground, or we could have been like more cautious and like play this corner, because we don't really care if their cart goes from here to like here. We just care if they cap.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I should go a lot faster.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Yeah, David and I are long spawn, and we communicated that pretty well, which is nice. We were backing up, which is pretty good. Stupid Tracer.
So we regroup on this corner.
Melissa here.
We regroup on this corner. Melissa gets hooked on the...
You're breaking that bad now.
They use a bunch of ultimates.
We used a bunch of ultimates too.
Yeah.
Mine was unnecessary. Throwing that last one.
Yeah, they used 3 ultimates. We used 4.
Yeah.
Remaining.
Should not have used mine.
Here it comes.
Now David's holding on the left-hand side. There's not a lot of that. Like when you're in the off tank like this, there's not a lot of value for him to be over there. So I would say just stay with the team.
30 seconds remaining.
So they kind of surround David. David's able to get back to us. Now I was holding on the high ground alone, and the tracer just killed me right away. It's a bad idea for me to be alone. I shouldn't have been alone. So the tracer's killed me. David's at half health. Melissa's at low health. Our Mercy flies in to help David and ends up dying because of it. And David loses mech. So now it's 3 versus 5. And now
10 seconds remaining.
What am I doing?
I think
Oh, I was trying to hide up high, but then the stupid Lucio found me.
yeah,
I did get away.
you did get away. Now ultimately, what wins
Screw
this
the
is
Lucio.
David's bomb. So we use our Bob, which buys us time. And they have to focus the Bob. They end up killing the Bob, but that takes their attention.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Yeah, look at that.
And then David does a perfect bomb, which kills 3.
Whew.
So we were able to
Yeah.
win that off of David's bomb, which is awesome.
2 ultimates. It was good value.
But what got us in trouble in the first place is we started that fight off really split, and that allowed them to like separate us, and in the chaos of it all, kill us one by one. So it would have been better if we're fighting to get together there. No. Since we only have a couple minutes left. Show the ending where we aren't able to cap the final points. Okay. So now they've lost one person. And I'll just do this in real time. So our Widow gets a kill. I switched to Sombra to handle the Bastion. I don't know where the Bastion is, so I'm going the wrong way. We're covering this corner well. They only have 4 people alive.
There might have been a scenario would have been better that you go for the Zen since he was by himself.
Now I hack the Bastion and I kill the Bastion. So now it is still 1, 2, 3. It's 6 on 4. They have no Bastion.
No reason we can't punish the diva here real quick.
Yeah, unfortunately, boy, that's a really good.
Oh, I got booped off.
Yeah,
That's
really
what
good
happened.
boop by the diva. And our Widow's alone. Our Widow gets killed. So now it's 4 versus 2.
Well, that's 3 against 2 because you're off by yourself, and then
Oh,
Lucio
then-
gets booped.
Then the Lucio gets booped. And this is where we should have communicated to David better that he was all alone, because they just have 2 people live, and if we regrouped here, like Ben was just coming back from spawn,
Yeah, we could have staggered him.
and we could have staggered him. But unfortunately, David pushes in and gets killed. So if we regrouped there, we would have had a chance to move the card further. And then Melissa gets demeched. I'm positioning myself to handle the Bastion.
Our Widow's getting a whole lot of value.
So I'm always doing a good job of being patient and waiting for the push. So you guys are pushing. I hacked the Bastion. Now this is a bad job by me where my translocator wasn't in a good spot. So
Yeah, you checked it over their head.
now the Bastion
Embarrassing.
is dead. They use. Now this is where the Diva Bomb kills like 3 of us.
Yeah,
Now
got both healers.
Now this is just a quick example of, and it's completely understandable. You put down your ultimate, and so you're focused on getting damage, and so you kind of pushed forward. Well,
I was pushing forward because there was a diva bomb behind me.
well, this was before the Diva Bomb. You had pushed forward, and you're focused on getting damage, which is completely understandable, and I'd probably do the same thing. But David was really low behind, and it's just a reminder to myself as well. If I'm a main healer, my main concern should be healing. So
Yeah,
it's a
be sure to
general-
also say if you're low too. That
Oh,
is
absolutely.
extremely useful. Otherwise, yeah, if I'm in bad positioning, then I'm not going to know that you're low in health.
Well, and it's not really bad positioning. It's just focus, and it's the same. I do the same exact thing. Like my number one priority should be healing. And it's not like that would have won or lost the fight. It's just something I noticed. That's something I can get better at.
Our Widow got some amazing kills there. A lot of value out of her.
Unfortunately, they surround David. David was. We used our Diva Bomb against one kill,
Which did trigger the trance. So that is value there. So we at least used up the trance because of the Diva Bomb.
and like here, I killed the Bastion, but it doesn't matter because the rest of our team is dead.
And again, it may, for the Sombra, it would probably be good to hack the Lucio and get rid of the Lucio.
Yeah, if I was
or spawn camp.
yeah, which I ended up.
A lot of really good Sombras will sit there and spawn camp.
And I shouldn't have teleported there. So now we use our Orisa. We're even. They use their ults. I'm out of this fight this whole time. That's a bad job by me.
Yeah, you were way far away. If you spawn camped, you could have taken out the Bastion well before then.
And that's, we have 4 people alive. It's 4v4. Unfortunately, David's really low and he has to back out, so it's a wasted EMP by me. So right now it's only Diva on the cards.
Yeah, they're all chasing you at that point. Which is the value of Sombra.
So then I kill the Bastion. They just have a Lucio on cards. So it's 5 versus 1 Lucio. And unfortunately we can't kill the Lucio fast enough. So now the Zen has his ult. We still can't kill the Lucio. The Lucio's not in the Zen ult. Now the Lucio uses his ult, and we'll lose the points. Yeah. So that final fight was just an example of just not having good enough focus fire. Where if you killed the Lucio, then killed the Zarya, then killed the Zenyatta, then we could have capped the points. But there were a lot of good things that we did there. We had some really good ultimates like David's ultimate, and let's had really good Sigma ultimate, and we got it really close to winning that last point. But it's just capping the last point can get hard once you get in that cycle of not grouping up properly and not coordinating ultimates and yeah. So it was a really close loss. We did a lot of good things. Again, I think it shows the importance of focus fire and coordinating, in between each fight, just getting in the habit of coordinating our ultimates and coordinating our pushes and just fighting together. Because I think when we lost is when we got split up, and they were able to take advantage of that. So if we try to fight together, whether that's on the low ground or the high ground, I think the important thing is that we fight together. Did you have any other thoughts?
No, that's good thoughts. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell.
Again, we appreciate all our many listeners, and have a great week.
Yep.